Hey everyone. After a very long time away from cinemas for legal reasons I'm not even going to try to go into for this particular video, and there's other people who have covered it over many years, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies has finally returned to live action. But he returned not in a movie, he returned in a short film, which was an advertisement for Angry Orchard hard cider. And it's all to tie in with this, the Angry Orchard Thriller Pack, which is going to have 4 different flavors, one of which has Jason's mask on the cover. I also haven't tested this out, but apparently this box is glow in the dark. But just wanted to give you, there'll be a little glare from my ring light here, but that's kind of what that looks like. I believe the QR code will take you to watch that short film, which is called Sweet Revenge, if you're interested in that. Anyway, side, back, other side, top, and bottom. So there are 4 different flavors here, as you can see. There is Berry Bewitched, which is probably the one I'm least likely to like. Blood Orange, which is the one that has the Jason mask on it. Headless Pumpkin, which is probably the one I'm more going to like, since I like pumpkin beer anyway. And then Sinful Apple, which I'm not sure how that's going to be different from the average Angry Orchard that is just apple flavored. I do like Angry Orchard Green Apple, but I'm generally not a hard cider person overall. But I was just interested to try these because none of the flavors seemed like they were completely outside the realm of something I would like. And, you know, it's nice that Jason's back, even if in an officially licensed form. We've obviously gotten fan films since 2009, which was the time we got the remake, and that was the last official live action. But there's been Never Hike Alone and all of those like fan shorts that have come out, or fan features. I think there was one that was called like F-13 Vengeance or something. But yeah, I'm going to try all of these, not at the same time, because I don't want to get sloshed. They're only 5% alcohol, but I'm a light guy, and if I drink 4 cans of this, I'm probably going to get a little too much. So let's check this out. I think I'm going to start with the one that has Jason on the can itself, so that would be the Blood Orange. Let's take a look at that. This is the Blood Orange can that has Jason's mask on one side of it there, and then it just kind of has a general Angry Orchard label on this one. 5% alcohol, as I said. Do we get ingredients? We do. So we got hard cider, filtered water, cane sugar, and then less than 2% of apple juice from concentrate, malt, acid, natural flavors, fruit and vegetable juice, sulfites. Okay. Blood orange, I don't generally like orange flavored things, but blood orange tastes a little bit different, and so I'm hit or miss with blood orange. Many years ago, they did a True Blood soda that was in the bottles that True Blood from that TV show was in. I still have the empty bottles, and that soda was pretty good. I don't know if my video taste testing those is still on YouTube or not. I made that many, many years ago. Over like 10, 15 years ago. But let's give this a shot and see if I end up liking it. It's gluten-free, if that matters to anybody. There's no bread in it. I guess, well, because beer has wheat, so that's not, but... well, there's a big smell of apple on there, so I'm pretty sure it's still going to be apple forward. And there's some blood orange in there for the smell. Nothing too crazy on the smell. Well, let's see how it tastes. So, the first swig I took of this, let's put the Jason on the front as I'm holding the can. The first swig I took of this was very apple forward, and it was very strong. But then every subsequent one got lighter, so I don't know if there was just, I don't know, some carbonation fumes that went up to the top or whatever. But that make it a little bit more light and watery in texture. And then the blood orange comes out more from that. Yeah, like the first swig, I was gonna say like not my thing, but then as I took like 2, 3, 4, it gets closer to something I actually enjoy. Yeah, once you get past like that first swig where it's maybe a little too, there's like a little bit of like apple bitterness on that first one, but then after that it's pretty smooth and has a slightly more watery texture, so it's a little bit lighter, so better for, you know, a refreshing. They used to call, when summer blended to fall and was still warm, they used to call that Indian summer. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the proper term for it anymore. Maybe we call it something else, like extended summer or something. But it feels like for like a hot early September night on a porch, this might be good. Yeah, it's not too bad. Again, I'm not a huge fan of anything flavored orange. So there's like a tinge of this that is telling me no. But blood orange is a little bit different. It leans a little bit more. I don't even know how to describe it, but it leans a little bit closer to like grapefruit territory for me, at least in my palate. And so that's definitely better than just plain orange. Like I can't drink orange juice straight or anything. Like the most orangey thing I taste is like triple sec in my margaritas. I'm not an orange flavored person at all. So yeah, this ain't too shabby. We'll see. I'll taste some of the other ones a bit later, and they'll be all in the same video, and we'll go from there. But so far, blood orange, I'd say a mildly positive reaction to after that first sip. Up next is the Berry Bewitched flavor, which is the one I suspect I'm going to like the least, but we'll see how it is. Again, ABV is still 5%. On the ingredients side, we got cider, filtered water, cane sugar, and then apple juice, malts, natural flavors, fruit, vegetable. Pretty much there's not really a difference here in the ingredients. I thought maybe there'd be like, since the last one I had was blood orange, that maybe there would be like, I don't know, some sort of berry extract in here, but I guess that just goes into the natural flavors part of it. So I don't know, maybe this is tastes like grape and I'll hate it. Maybe it'll, well, I guess berry is more like raspberry, I suppose, but, or blue raspberry, which doesn't exist really. Let's see. Oh, that smells very raspberry. Okay. Oh, that's like... It's a little Welch's, which is concerning, because I really don't like grape, but I would say berry's probably not grape, right? Yeah, I guess, let's see. Again, like the blood orange, the taste is lighter than the smell, though this one didn't have like a strong first gulp. It's like immediately not that strong. You know, I was kind of when I first took a swig, but it's kind of growing on me with more. It's odd how that works. Yeah, it's definitely raspberry and not grape, which is what I was worried about because I don't like grape flavoring at all. Um, Except in like champagne or whatever, but or prosecco, but that's usually like white grapes and not red grapes. Yeah, this actually isn't too shabby. I'd say like the berry is complemented by the apple because the apple is still like the key fruit ingredient in here. And it's light enough where it's not like punching you in the face like you're, you know, like you're just drinking grape juice or something. Do they make raspberry juice, just plain raspberry juice? I don't think they do, but yeah, it's actually. I was half expecting I would hate this, but I don't. It's actually not that bad. I mean, it wouldn't be my go-to if I were just buying it solo and not as part of a variety pack, but yeah, all right. And yeah, the blood orange one is the only one that has Jason's mask on it. This is just like a purpley moonlight type thing on the can, so there's that. But yeah, it's not actually that bad. It's so, you know, 2 for 2 as far as flavors that are pretty good, but not like blowing me away. Maybe I'll save the pumpkin for last because that's the one I'm most looking forward to, which would mean the next one is just plain old apple, Sinful Apple. Okay, next up we got Sinful Apple, which has a C in it, so I'm guessing this is like a cinnamon apple as opposed to straight apple. Because otherwise, if it's a straight apple, it's just normal Angry Orchard, right? But like the other ones that aren't the orange, there's no Jason-specific stuff on the can. Let's see what the ingredients are. If it's just the same as the all. Yep, cider, water, sugar, malic acid, apple juice, carbon dioxide, yep. all the basic stuff. Yeah, I have to imagine the sinful with a C means it's like cinnamon apple or something, so we'll see. Which would make it like the most like normal cider of the whole 4 thriller pack. Not getting any cinnamon off the nose, just kind of apple, so we'll see how it tastes. Yep. Okay, so out of all the ciders, this is the one that's closest to like a normal cider because it's just really apple. I think I'm right that there's supposed to be a little bit of cinnamon in here, but it's very mild. Like you're not getting like the spicy bite of cinnamon too much. You're mostly just kind of getting like a tiny bit of cinnamon flavoring. I would compare it to when you get cinnamon flavoring in like a cereal or like a kid's like cinnamon type snack that you get in like a little bag that you put in like their lunch box for school when you're young, like cinnamon Teddy Grahams or something. It's very mild cinnamon. It could probably use more cinnamon, to be honest, but I think because we sort of associate cinnamon flavor with more like winter or Christmas, it would get away from the whole like thriller Halloween fall theme. Maybe some people associate cinnamon with fall. I don't know. I associate it more with like Christmas type stuff as opposed to allspice and pumpkin spice, which I associate with fall. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting off of it. It's still mostly apple with a tinge of that like, I guess, cinnamon that's leaning more towards sweetness than it is like the burny spice part of like cinnamon spice. Yeah. Fun thing though, of the 3 flavors I've tried, this is the least watered down tasting of them. I think with the blood orange and the berry one, I think they needed to, in order for those flavors not to be overpowering, they needed to give it like a bit more of a smoother finish, and that's why they have like a bit more of a like a watery, refreshing feel. This doesn't feel like it's going for refreshing. This one feels like a slight bit heavier, but it's also probably the strongest, like punchy in the face apple flavor of them. Yeah, not bad though. I'd say maybe because it's the most boring of the 3 flavors I've tried so far, it's the simplest for my autistic palate to go with. But I like this one probably the best of the 3 so far. I think if I had to rank, right now it's apple followed by berry, which is a surprise to me, and then the blood orange at the bottom. And I have one more to try, which is the pumpkin, which I am predicting will be my favorite because I love pumpkin spice and pumpkin flavor things. But we'll find out there. But that one is Sinful Apple with a C. And last but not least, we got Headless Pumpkin, which is probably the one I'm expecting I'll end up liking the most. My partner actually tried this one last night, and she liked it, but I specifically didn't smell it or taste test it so that I could do it on camera for you for the first time and get like a fresh, honest reaction and everything. Which means if it is my favorite, I'll only have one left because 3 came in the pack, but she did buy me the pack from her birthday, so I'm not going to complain about that. For ingredients here, anything out of the ordinary? No, it's all pretty much the same stuff. I was wondering if there was like pumpkin puree in here, but it might be natural, artificial, I don't know. But alright, well, let's check it out. Still mostly apple on the nose, not really getting a lot of pumpkin out of it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's clearly the best one. But I do like pumpkin flavored things. Uh, Not sure if it's strictly pumpkin or if it's like the allspice, like faux pumpkin spice that they added with the natural and artificial flavors that is here. Um, but it's got a pretty decent pumpkin taste to it outside of the apple, which is still very strong underneath that. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much what you'd expect. It is a pumpkin flavored apple cider. um, yeah, I'd say the pumpkin doesn't taste as artificial as pumpkin spice, which is usually just all spice. It's not even pumpkin related. But without any sort of like pumpkin puree or anything in the ingredients, I'm guessing very little of actual pumpkins in here, so it's probably just a certain blend of the pumpkin spice type stuff, like allspice and some of the other things. Yeah. Again, much like with the Cinna apple, this is a little bit of the heavier of the four, whereas the berry and the blood orange are a bit more on the lighter, more watery side. I don't When I say watery, I don't mean to be like it's drinking like flavored water. It doesn't taste like a hard seltzer or anything, but it's just a lighter, smoother, whatever. This is a little bit more dense and flavorful than those two, which was the same thing with the Sin Apple I tried yesterday. Yeah, I like that. It's still mostly a hard cider as you would expect. So if you're someone who just wants to be like punched in the face with pumpkin flavor, like when you get like a full-on pumpkin beer from like a really good craft brewery or a decent release, then you're probably not gonna find enough pumpkin in this for you. But if you just want a little bit of pumpkin flavoring, but you still are just looking for a hard cider, then yeah, this will do the job. Later this season, since my partner also likes pumpkin beers, there's one I usually buy every year called Atomic Pumpkin, which is like a habanero pumpkin one. So I'll probably pick that up at some point later this season as like the pumpkin beer of choice that I have. But that also has the habanero, so it's a little spicier. It's not one you drink to be refreshing, really. It's for taste. But this is pretty good for what it is. Yeah, yeah. So if I was ranking them, the pumpkin one is definitely my favorite, followed by the Cinna apple, which I was kind of surprised that was my second favorite. And then the berry, which I was also very surprised was not like last. And then the blood orange was probably my least favorite. So I accidentally ended up trying them in ascending order of of my preferences. So that was kind of fun. All right, so that was all four from the Angry Orchard Jason Universe Thriller pack. I think they're selling some of these as like separate whatevers. At least I know the blood orange because of the Jason can. I don't know if some of the other flavors are coming out separately because I probably wouldn't buy the mix pack again. But if I saw the headless pumpkin just available as like its own 12 pack or whatever, I'd probably pick that up again before the end of the season. I'd also want to get like a full on pumpkin beer though too if I'm celebrating the pumpkinness of it all because I'm all about pumpkin flavored stuff from now up until like Thanksgiving when they still keep it going. But thanks for hanging out there with me and hope you have a good one.